شلون راح نقويها وشلون راح نبرمجها وتكون ونفحصها وانها تكون جاهزه لبرنامج سيسكو. Thank you very much.
All right. So the first command here, let's say you are in the router configuration mode and you want to change some of the configuration, or you want to add some of the configuration, or you want to configure your switches or routers. So one of the command is security password minimum length is 10. So meaning that it will not accept the password less than 10 characters. So the minimum length is 10. The second one is the service password encryption. So by writing this one, you are going to enable that services. Okay. Then you go for the line VTY04 space. This one is between is a space. VTY meaning that you are going to enable 5 lines simultaneously for the remote access. So meaning that the 5 computers at the same time, they can have access remotely access to your switches or routers. Okay, that one we call it line VTY04. Sometimes later we will see, you can put it, if you search on the internet also, you can easily find, you can put 0 space 15. So 0 space 15 means 16 line, total is 16 line. So you can enable all 16 line at the same time. And then you can set the execution timeout, right? So the command we will see later, all right, in details. Then you can go to the line console 0. This one is the line VTY. Line console is the direct connection, right? The local access. That one also, the execution timeout, you can set the same, all right? And then if you go to the command line here in the privilege mode and type show running config, you can see the information about your security settings. All right. So for line console 0, for the auxiliary port you have set, and also for the line VTY. You can see the information on.
Thank you very much دكتور.
Okay.
هنا الوصول
So,
الى اوامر سيسكو، مثل هنا بالاولى انه كيفيه راح
yes,
نكتب الاوامر الا تكون 10 ارقام او اكثر. هنا الباسورد الارقام اللي تكون لازم تكون مرمزه. هنا الاتصال البي تي واي معناها الاتصال مباشر معناها تبكين عدد من الحواسيب الوصول اليها عن بعد. فهنا معطينا هنا 0.4، يعني نقدر احنا نتصل ب5 حواسيب عن بعد، واذا كتب 5 نقدر نمكن 6 حواسيب عن بعد. فكل ما كان رقم اكثر فكل ما كانت الحواسيب في هذا الفراغ ينحسب ايضا، فتنحسب 5 حواسيب نقدر نتصل بها عن بعد. ايضا راح يكون التنفيذ بحدود من خلال مفاتيح الراوتر، نقدر اتصال مباشر. الاكس تايم اوت معناها الاتصال المحلي، الاتصال المباشر. اما البي تي واي معناها الاتصال عن بعد. 0.4 عدد الحواسيب اللي احنا راح نتصل بها عن بعد. اذا 4 انت احسب 5 حواسيب، اذا اعطاك 5 انت احسب 6 حواسيب. ليش؟ لانه تحسب الفراغ اللي بين 0 و4 ينحسب كانما حاسبه. فهنا البي تي واي معناها الاتصال الغير مباشر للحواسيب البي تي واي. اما الاكزيت تايم اوت معناها الاتصال المباشر للحواسيب، اي الاتصال المحلي للحواسيب عن للراوتر. هنا الاتصال المباشر يكون اتصال محلي ايضا. وهنا عندما يكتب بالثانيه شو رننج اوف معناها اعداد الامنيه، كيفيه اعداد الامنيه والسكيورتي اللي يتعلق بهذا الشيء. ثانك يو فيري ماتش دكتور.
yeah, thank you very much. I guess we have to force everybody to learn English, you know. There is no point in thinking that translating to Arabic also the student will not try to enhance their English proficiency. So I don't know whether it's good practice or not. I respect your, decision. If you want me to let someone to translate, I really respect that. But I think this is not a good practice anyway. Let me go through the rest of the things. So the secret password algorithm, all right? So configure all secret password using type 8 or type 9 password, okay? So here we have type 8 or type 9. Better to use type 8 or... So let's look at the different type of the password first, then I will come back to this slide again. So in type 0, this is a Cisco password type. In type 0, this is a clear text and should never be used in a running or startup config. Nowadays is already obsolete, is not using anymore. Type 4 also the same thing. So using the they try to basically they created on 2013 and later they realized it's very weak, so they stop it. Type 5, you can see the information about it. Okay. Type 6 is a bit advanced compared to the type 5, using 128-bit AES. We already discussed in our offline class what is AES. In type 7, use a different type of cipher algorithm, 1995 for example, and then what happened, and you know the things is no more already, so we cannot use type 7, but instead we can use type 8 and 9. So type 8 password are what type 4 supposed to be at that time. Okay, so type 8 is hashed using the PBKDF. This one we will explain in the offline class, and also the
اوكي دكتور،
SHA-256.
مع انواع الرموز
Okay.
السرية اللي yes thank you.
It's okay. I think no need to translate. It will not take too much. This is a so clear one. If necessary, then I will let you know whether you need to translate or not. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me finish the what you call it, the slide first. Okay. Because the time will be taken too much to do that. So for this one, you can go for the SHA-256 with 20,000 iterations, right? But still is vulnerable to the brute forcing attack, all right? Because if someone using the GPU, the graphic card, they still will be able to crack this kind of password as well, all right? So in the running config, if you type show running config, if you see the password started with the $8, this is a type 8. All right. We have, for example, type 5, we have type 8, you can see type 9 starting with the $9, or type 14 even though we can have it. Okay. Type 9 use the script hashing algorithm. It is defined in the informational RFC. This is a request for comment file 7914. If you search on the internet, you can find it. So this is currently the best practice type password to use in Cisco devices. Okay. So if you go back here you can see when I want to type the command, I type enable algorithm type. You can choose MD5 or script or SH256. Okay, I put it on bracket, meaning that one of these you can use. You can use either MD5, a script, or SH256. Then you can type secret, and after that you can put your password. Okay. So from now until the end of semester, if you see the command like this, if you see the bold one, the bold words, this all you have to type it exactly the same. Unless if you see in bracket, you can choose either of this one. MD5 SHA-256 is type 8. If you can see here, SHA-256 is type 8. But if you go for script, the script is type 9. All right. So you can choose either of these two, or you go for the MD5. MD5 basically is type 5, for example. Okay. So use the username algorithm type command to specify type 9 encryption. So you put username after this command, you put username. So whatever name, like Bob, like Ali, like whatever. Then the algorithm type, for example, script, and then you put secret, and then unencrypted password. Okay. So don't worry, guys. No need to memorize these things. Okay. You do not need to memorize anyway. Later we will see how basically we can set this kind of password. So let's look at the securing line access. username Bob, algorithm type secret, and then you put secret, sorry, the algorithm type is script, and then you put secret. So the secret, you can choose your password. Here we choose a very simple password. But in reality, you do not use like this, okay? And then you type line console 0, and then you go for different command here. So line console 0, no password for the login local. Then you exit, go to the line auxiliary port 0, no password, and then you go to the VTY 024. The line VTY is the virtual one, okay? That one you do not want to enable, right? Here you want to enable this one. VTY normally, just now we discussed, if you want to have access remotely to your device, for example, using the telnet or SSH protocol, so you just enable it. For the login local, the transport input is SSH. So later we will see how basically we can have access to our network devices, switches, and routers using the SSH algorithm. Okay? Sorry, the SSH protocol. So here we can have configuring the enhanced security for virtual logins. Okay. So later we will see, basically you can configure the banner. What is the banner? Banner is to enhance the security login. So as you can see here, the virtual login security enhancement. One is implement the delay between successive login attempts. The second one, enable the logging shutdown if the DOS attacks are suspected. We will see the command, how basically we can set. And the third one is to generate the system logging messages for logging detection. Okay? So that 3 steps can enhance our security logging. All right. So by using the banner, you just want to pop up a message that maybe the user access verification, or sometimes you want to pop, show the message if someone try to, access to your router and then the password is wrong. So here you can see the feature, the commands. So you can use the logging block for example, 30 seconds or 5 seconds, attempts, how many tries, within how many seconds. And then login quiet mode, access class, we will discuss later. You can put logging delay, for example, 10 seconds, and the other commands. As I said, now you do not need to worry about the commands, okay? Yes, yes, of course. Yes, yes, sure. After my explanation, okay? Don't worry, I will show you exactly what we will do. Okay? We will look at the slide first. Yes, I know. We will look at the slide first, guys. Then I have the lab configuration file. Okay, that one I will explain to you later. Just a second, guys. So we will look at the slide first, and after that, let me show you. Maybe some of you get confused. Let me show you what we will do. Later, I will later I will send you this file. Okay, this is a lab securing the router for administrative access. Okay, so then you put the router 1, router 2, router 3, and what you will do later, you will build the connections. This one is a serial link, for example. I will explain to you what is DCE. Then you look at the DTE, DCE. I will explain to you this is a serial port. Okay. I will explain to you later. And then we will put a switch 1, switch 3, for example, PCA, PCC, for example, the IP addresses, everything I will give it to you. And then we will go to this addressing table. Okay, for router 1, what IP addresses we have to use? For router 2, what IP addresses we have to use? For router 3, what IP addresses? PCA, PCC, for example. IP address, subnet mask, default gateway if required. And we will do the configurations. So first, in the part 1, cable the network as shown in the topology. Basic addressing, routers and PCs. We will configure the OSPF routing protocols, for example, and then we will verify the connectivity. In part 2, we will control the administrative access for routers, like SSH, like configuring the SCP, all right? And then in part 3 and part 4, we will do part 5, we will do part 6, and all. So the command also is there. So you do not be worried about it. Part 1, you can see the command. So the cabling is easy. You can simply do the cabling. Step number 2, you want to configure the basic setting. All right. So what is the basic setting? For example, you go to the interface. For example, S0/0/0 on the router 1, and then you set the clock rate. Okay, and because it's necessary to set the clock rate. And then you type the no IP domain lookup, and then for the OSPF routing, so this is how basically you do the routing, and I will explain this one later. Okay, so for the router 1, router 2, you do the routing, and then you write the passive interface. We will see what is passive interface, because some of the interfaces on routers supposed to not, we will discuss about it, not to forward, some of the control messages. So those interfaces, we make it as a passive. All right, in step number 4, we will verify the OSPF routing with 2 commands. And we have step number 5, step number 6. After we complete, we will go to the part 2, which is the control administrative access for routers. All the commands are there, you see. Just now I explained to you. Security password minimum length 10, right? And then you enable the algorithm type script secret Cisco 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that clear? And then you go for the line console 0, password Cisco, so on and so forth. Everything is there, guys. Okay? You should not be worried about this one. So as I said, let me finish the slides. Is there anybody here last time who has translated this explanation? I think who was your representative? Yes, Qasem, I said we will see in, can someone translate to them?
دكتور كان ترانسليت ثانك يو. هنا دكتور
Yeah,
شرح
yeah.
يس دكتور شرح الأوامر اللي راح ينطينا إياها حتى نفهم هذا الكلام اللي قاله هسه يعني قبل شوية. هو حكى كلام إنه شلون هاي التنفيذات راح تنفذ، شلون الراوتر راح ننفذه، وشلون راح يتنفذ، وشلون راح يدخل على بقية السويتشات، شلون راح يدخل على بقية الحاسبات. يعني راح يشرح واحدة واحدة راح ينطي يعني. انه هذا كله كلام، بعدين هو راح يشرح لكم، يعني راح يطبق لكم اياه عمل يعني. مفهوم؟ ثانك يو فيري ماتش.
Much. So we will look at the slide first. Then we will do in our lab activities. So don't worry, everybody must do it. It's not only me. Everybody must install the packet tracer and try to, implement this kind of activities. Okay. So let me finish off this one. We can have the logging. If failed, what will happen? What kind of message? And then we have configuring the SSH. Okay. So I will stop here. I will stop here. And we will go back to the, I promised you just now, I said we will start with the beginning, from the beginning, okay? From the scratch. Building a simple network, okay? I will give it to you 26 files. You can see that? Start from number 1 until 26. This is the basic to learn. This is basically CCNA 1. This is a basic for learning the work with packet tracer. Can someone translate to others? So I'll give you 26. I will explain today some of them. Maybe about 10 I will explain to you today. Okay. The rest I will discuss with you maybe in next week, next 2 sessions. Maybe another 2 lectures. I will complete all of this. After we complete this one, we directly go to the CCNA version 2 security. Could you please explain to them, Neba?
I am trying to translate to them.
Yes, yes, please.
هنا دكتور راح يشرح، يقول راح اشرح لكم من الصفر شلون نطبق هذا البرنامج سيسكو، شلون راح يتنفذ. راح اشرح لكم اياه يعني خطوه خطوه حتى تفهمونه. واضح؟ فانه ان شاء الله ما راح يصير عليكم صعب، وراح يشرح لكم اياه خطوه خطوه. يقول راح اشرح لكم التنفيذ من الصفر. ثانك يو فيري ماتش.
So this one I will explain to you quickly because I want to teach you how to use packet tracer, and I will do that. Because some of you don't know how to use packet tracer, no problem. This is from the beginning until you learn how to work with packet tracer. All the command, everything are here. Okay. So maybe after 2-3 weeks, everybody is able to work with packet tracer. After you get to know, we will go for the security installations and configurations. Okay.
دكتور هنا أنا يقول شلون راح اعلمكم استخدام الشبكه والحزم اللي متعلقه بها. شلون راح اعلمكم اياها خطوه خطوه من البدايه من الصفر لحد يعني تحاولون تطبقون البرنامج. هسه راح يكون عليكم صعب وما مفهوم، بس ان شاء الله بعد اسبوعين 3 انتم راح تطبقون يعني واحد واحد بيدكم تطبقون شيء، ماكو شيء صعب يعني ان شاء الله. راح ابدا وياكم من الصفر، قولوا خطوه خطوه، يعني ماكو شيء يعني غامض عليكم. ان شاء الله يكون خلال اسبوعين 3 يكون هذا الشيء عليكم سهل. ثانك يو فيري ماتش.
All right. Okay, so let's start with the building a simple network. Okay. So in the first one, in the first file, we will see how to build a simple network. So today, I will start with the first one. Everybody has the packet tracer. Please can work with me, start with me. Because a lot of students in my class, I cannot check one by one. Okay? So now it's 23. It's supposed to be 45 students, So, but what we will do, I will try to start from the beginning. So run the packet tracer. Everybody as packet tracer can do the same. So if we can make it faster, then we can start our security installations quickly. right? Quickly. All right. So let's look at the installation. This is the first one, first slide, building a simple network, right? All right. So I put switch 1, switch 2. Switch 1 connecting to switch 2 using the port fast Ethernet 01. Can you see that? From now until the end of semester, please follow exactly as the topology I have given you. Fast Ethernet 06 connect to PCA. Switch 2 connection to the PCB through the fast Ethernet 018. All right?
Okay, Doctor, can translate?
Yeah, let me answer the Majid question. Majid,
Yes.
yes, Majid. Let Majid talk to me first. Yes, Majid.
Yes, Doctor, do you hear me?
Yes, sure. How are you, Majid?
Hello.
Yes.
I'm fine,
Yes,
thank
Majid.
you, sir. Good evening for you and for all the participants, my colleagues, students in this group. Thank you in the beginning for the outstanding lecture that you perform right now for us, and
I hope you
especially for the
no
importance
problem.
of the package tracer. If you allow me to give me just less than a minute just to explain to my colleague in Arabic the main reason of
Yeah,
building
sure.
this Cisco packet tracer.
Yes,
شباب بالنسبة
sure. Just
لبرنامج
explain
الباكت
to them,
تريسر. Yes,
Majid,
thank you.
just explain to
Yes,
them
yes, sir.
that the packet tracer, I will give you 26 files. That is a
I
basic.
already translate
Maybe
that in
during the
Arabic.
holidays,
Yes.
yes, they can learn about it in holidays. We will